This is one of the master classes in a series of 6 master class webinars approved by ICF for CCE, Continuing Coach Education. And today's webinar is positive psychology. That is positive psychology coaching. That is how to apply positive psychology into coaching. So we are going to look at positive psychology of strengths, appreciative inquiry, and mainly positive psychology coaching model. And then there will be a group discussion within you, application of AI. If the quantum is less, we can have the discussion directly in the main room without forming the breakout rooms. So this is the crux of this session. So positive psychology. So of course, yesterday I have given you the video link of Martin Seligman's introduction to the positive psychology. And he is one of the founders of positive psychology. So the positive psychology term is comparatively new. The first it was said in 1950s by Abraham Maslow. So he was the first psychologist who used the term. So we are all aware of the Maslow's hierarchy. So he first time used the term called as positive psychology in 1950s. Right. And then in 2002, it was Martin Seligman, whose video link I shared yesterday. He popularized this particular term positive psychology through his influential work, Authentic Happiness. So he studied the positive emotions and concluded that it is the strengths that enable individuals and communities to thrive. So the focus of the positive psychology is on strengths. Focus of the positive psychology is what is already happening well. So he has communicated a very interesting concept which I personally resonate with a lot. He calls for 3 kinds of lives. One is the pleasant life. So generally it is about the pleasures, right? So if there is a hierarchy of life and there are 3 sections, like Maslow's hierarchy has say levels. So at the bottommost level of the life, it is the life which is seeking pleasure, the pleasant life. Then it is a good life. Good life is related to the people who are in a flow, who are passionate, who are purposeful, and who are, say, being successful in their professions. So generally, they happen to have a good life. So it's a combination of your work and pleasure, and your focus is on one of the domains in the life where you enjoy for certain moments, you come in the flow in a good life. Most of us, or the majority of the population, strives for a good life. Level 2. Level 3, the highest kind of life, type of life, is called as meaningful life. It is using your strengths and values in the service of something bigger than you. Of course, you are all now GCCP students at an advanced level, and you have all seen it, Who Am I? That is how we are all interconnected, and how the reality is beyond you, and how we are part of the same pure consciousness. So once we start thinking in that particular direction, automatically we start thinking about meaningful life. So everything is connected. So it is the meaningful life that matters. And again, there is a lot of survey done in this particular area, and they have found that people who have lived long and happy had meaningful life. So again, there is a great survey in this particular direction. So it is a meaningful life what we strive. So generally people think that, okay, it is the happy life what we strive. But the happiness is always temporary, because we find happiness in the temporary things, in goods, in materialistic thing. We don't go to that particular Panchakosha level of bliss. right? We are always into the happiness related to the things. So it is always temporary. You can't be happy always, because if you are happy always, then also you will get bored. So the happiness is important because there is a sadness, there are other emotions. Happiness is a one kind of emotion. So it is not the happiness we are striving for or we should strive for. It is the meaningful life which we strive for, and the positive psychology focuses on that. So positive psychology is a scientific study of what makes the life worth living. And the focus of positive psychology is always on strengths that we have seen in Who Am I? Strength and Value session. That is, it is the strength which will enable you to excel in your life. Every one of us, all human beings, will necessarily have weaknesses. That is being human. And if you focus your energies on the weaknesses, you can become back to zero, but you cannot excel. You can only excel with the power, with the strength of your strength, which we have already seen in Who Am I sessions. So today we are re-emphasizing the focus on strengths. So the positive psychology focuses on positive events and positive influences in life, that is positive experiences. What are the positive experiences? Happiness, joy, inspiration, love. These are all positive experiences. So that is the focus of positive psychology. Positive psychology focuses on positive states and positive traits. Which are they? Gratitude, resilience, compassion. And positive psychology focuses on positive institutions. That is, again, there are three levels: experiences, states, that is traits, and then institutions. That is applying positive principles in organizations. So this is the focus of the positive psychology. So there are a variety of the psychology domains which you are already aware: social psychology and development psychology, clinical psychology, right? So generally the interventions or the thought process of psychology, especially after the World War II, was that something is not good, something is not doing well, and through the psychology intervention, you enhance or you correct that. So it was a corrective measure, not in ancient time. I'm saying especially in the modern world. And positive psychology changed that focus from something is bad and we need to work on it to something is good and we need to further better it. Because if you see in society, how many people are actually having the issue, mental issue or the mental correction. See, the mental issue is a normal thing. Every means like there is some kind of ailment in our body, in our physical body, there will be some element with our mind. We don't want to accept it, or we don't have a very good diagnosis of it. But every one of us is suffering some kind of issue. But when that issue goes beyond certain level, then you require psychotherapy. Now, how many percentage of the people in the world require psychotherapy? Maybe 1%, 2%, definitely less than 10%. At an extreme, still it is less than 10%. But more than 90% of the people in the world are normal, right? So positive psychology focuses on these 90% plus normal people to enhance their life further. That is positive psychology. So there are 6 virtues, 6 classes of virtues: wisdom, humanity, justice, temperance, transcendence, courage. And each virtue brings in certain set of strengths in human beings. We all have these virtues and these strengths in varied quantum. Someone has more, someone has less. But as a human, you do have these virtues and these strengths. So we need to identify that which are those virtues and strengths which are dominant in us. Like we have seen in DISC, DISC. Every DISC profile has a merit, every DISC profile has a con. but you will succeed in your life on the strength of your behavioral profile. If you are D, right, you can drive better, you are dynamic. If you are I, you can succeed with your great energy and enthusiasm. If you are S, you can succeed with your supportive nature, compassion, empathy. If you are C, you will excel with your analytical mindset, logical and rational mind. Right. So the every behavioral profile comes up with certain strengths. Like that, every human being has some virtues and some strengths in varied quantum. Your job is to analyze, that is okay, which are those virtues and which are those strengths, which are more in me, where I have to focus more to become happier and feel fulfilled. That is positive psychology of strengths. So let us see it.
We are the sum total of how we were raised and the experiences we had when we were kids, good or bad. And what I find remarkable when I've done these, and I've asked people, tell me a specific early happy childhood memory. And sometimes somebody will stare at me and very uncomfortably say, I did not have a happy childhood. I don't have any happy memories. And I'll say, well, tell me a sad one then. And so here's one of the actual things that somebody told me. They had a very abusive father. And one of the things they remember is her and her brother, her baby brother, hiding from their father when he went on a rampage. And she remembers holding her brother and covering him up while they hid in the closet. And she tells this traumatic, difficult, sad story. And it occurred to me while I was listening to the story, I said, you told me about how you made specific attempt to cover your brother, to protect your brother. That's positive. In other words, what you'll find is even in difficulty, you will find these strengths that come out. And that's who this person was. This person at her core was a protector, that she would stand in the way of those who might be harmed. In other words, it was very, very positive.
So if you want to succeed in life, should you spend most time leveraging your strengths or fixing your weaknesses? If you're going to spend most time anywhere, spend most time on your strengths, leveraging them, and then managing around these. Why? Two reasons. One, just morally, it's going to feel a heck of a lot better for you to know that you are characterizing yourself by who you are, that you're trying to take who you are really seriously and contribute it. If you wanted to have a bad relationship with someone, you'd get into the relationship with them and go, look, I love you, you're perfect, now change. And many of us, when we spend time focused on our weaknesses, we're actually building that sort of relationship with ourselves. We're wishing we were different. You've got this kind of confrontational relationship with yourself. So the first reason to focus on your strengths is it actually builds a much more beautiful and much more generative and much more generous relationship with yourself. The second reason, though, which is interesting, is that you'll actually grow most, be most productive by leveraging your strengths. Doesn't mean you don't fix your weaknesses. At some point, you've got some things that might get in the way. You better just deal with them. But you don't grow most there. We know that you grow most in your areas of strength. You get exponential growth in your areas of strength, and you get incremental growth in your areas of weakness. Why is that? One reason is just brain science. We know you grow more synaptic connections in your head, where you have the most pre-existing synaptic connections. You grow most in your areas of strength. The other reason, of course, is that a strength isn't what you're good at, and a weakness isn't what you're bad at. A strength is what strengthens you, and a weakness is what weakens you. We know that because, frankly, there are some things that you're really good at that weaken you. There are some things you've probably got where you go, I'm great at this, but if I never had to do it again, it'd be a day too soon. That's a weakness. A strength is so much more appetite than it is pure ability. And of course, it's the appetite that drives you to want to do it again and practice it again and refine it again. And therefore, it's the appetite that leads to the practice that leads to performance. So leverage your strengths, manage around these, because you get, yes, it feels better, but you get a greater uplift in terms of performance and contribution.
So of course, means all the GCCP students are well aware about the strengths, but I think it is worthwhile even to repeat it, reinforce it. So appreciative inquiry. Appreciative inquiry is something wonderful. And again, I had shared this origin of appreciative inquiry video on our WhatsApp group, and I hope that all of you must have gone through it. So it is a way to engage groups of people or a person in a self-determined change. So the origin of appreciative inquiry was for the organizational development. So it was the OD intervention when it got invented, and afterwards the AI is now getting used even at one-to-one level, even in the coaching. So what is the focus of appreciative inquiry? Same. Appreciative inquiry is a positive psychology intervention. That is, you focus on what is already working well rather than what is not working, which is our general psychology. General psychology is we always focus on what is not right and we take granted what is already happening right. So the focus of the appreciative inquiry is what is happening right and see that you flourish in that direction. And of course, there is a video, next video, which explains it at an organizational level. So first, let us go through this video.
Back in the 1980s, there was a low-budget hotel named the Omni Hotel that was right across.
Okay, so this is not an organization level video. So just show me thumbs up who has seen the video. So the seen the video means thumbs up. Yes. Prasad has seen, Leela has seen, Bala has seen, Deepak has seen, Yatin has seen. So almost, yeah, Vinita also has seen. So everyone has seen it. So when this appreciative inquiry originated, it got originated at an organizational development level. And this is what I have personally seen in all the organization I was working in. The tendency of the organization is always to work on the weaknesses and see that they do not become threat, and there is a continuous improvement. Of course, continuous improvement is a principle which all of us must follow. But the appreciative inquiry tells you that it is not only the continuous improvement in the areas of our weakness, but the organization can really thrive if you focus more on your strengths and see why you are successful in the first place, what is working well, and further build on it to make the organization good to great. So the appreciative inquiry is for good to great. Like coaching is generally a goal achievement intervention. Generally, it is not the problem solution intervention, because there are a variety of the other intervention which does that. Coaching definitely does that. There is no doubt, right? But majority of the coaching assignments, what you will get will be the goal-oriented assignments. So the coaching itself is a positive intervention. So appreciative inquiry has a great application in coaching. So what exactly is this appreciative inquiry process? So let us see this appreciative inquiry process, which is define, discover, dream, design, and destiny. And again, remember, it's an inquiry process. It is not the process in whole. It's an inquiry. After you make appreciative inquiry, then there is a different game plan. Then there is a strategy. Then there is an execution. So this is not the execution platform. Appreciative inquiry is an inquiry. Means it is like a powerful questioning, reflective questioning in evoking awareness. That is not awareness itself. It is the process by which you evoke awareness. Then awareness gets evoked, and then there is an action and progress, right? Like that, appreciative inquiry is an inquiry. Generally, we make inquiry into what is not happening right, but the appreciative inquiry is a very positive kind of inquiry. Let us see what is that positive kind of inquiry we are talking about.
So the Master My Life coaching methodology necessarily integrates positive psychology, that is appreciative inquiry, and strengths and appreciative inquiry both. So this is a 5D cycle of appreciative inquiry, and this is very interesting. So understanding this and then implementing it into your professional and personal life can give you 10x results, extraordinary results. So the first phase is define, which basically got introduced later. The first, it was a 4 level process, but then of course the management and the leadership understood that first you have to basically define the thing that is okay, in which direction you want to move, right? So the which kind of opportunity is there on which you can capitalize. It is not only the definition of a problem, because generally in management we first define the problem, right? So here define state is an important part of determine how the following 4 steps discover, dream, design and destiny will flow. Here in a defined phase, you must use a positive language to frame your focus on the intervention. So there is an intervention, but the definition is positive. The definition is what you want to do better, what you want to do best, not to solve the problem. So you are not defining the problem, you are defining the opportunity, right? So this is the reason why the definition is an important step. Then comes discover. The focus during the discovery phase is searching for and identifying what gives organization life, prosperity. And the same is true for individual. Means I will explain it from the perspective of the organization, but it is same for the individual as well, right? So the organization is nothing but a team of individuals. So it is applicable to the individual life as well, right? Because individual also wants to develop and flourish. So, but I will use the term from the, say, organizational perspective. Here in a discovery phase, past successes will be thought, explored and discussed. Successes, not failures. And in each instant, we will discuss on what made that success. What were the ingredients, what we did good so that we got success, right? So we are exploring the success, not the failures. We are exploring the success and the reasons of that success. So this is a discovery. So during the discovery phase, you find out what you are best at, what you are already good at. So the discovery is finding good. Then dream phase. The dream phase is about imagining the best possible future for the organization or a person. Best possible future, dream. What is the maximum potential the organization or the individual has, considering the pluses of the organization, considering the potential. So this is the dream phase. It is like a vision, right? So it's a dream, it's a vision. So you define the dream. Once you have the dream, which is the best possible scenario, either for organization or for individual, then you co-create and decide on an action plan to achieve that dream. Why I'm using a word co-create? Because whether it is organization or the coaching, it is all teamwork. The dream of the organization can be achieved only by the team, and the dream of a coachee can be achieved by a co-creation and a partnership between coach and coachee. So it's a shared vision. The dream phase is a shared vision. And then the goal of the final phase destiny is to construct a future through innovation, collaboration, and action. Innovation, collaboration, and action. So understand this cycle. This process is an inquiry process, not an action process. Actions will be defined during this particular appreciative inquiry process. This is not the complete cycle of you identifying opportunity and you achieving and exploiting that opportunity. No, this is the inquiry phase only, appreciative inquiry. right? It's not a complete cycle. So in a inquiry, in the last phase of destiny, right, you co-create, you construct a future. It's a construction.
So the appreciative inquiry is the essence of coaching. Why? Because what is coaching? To maximize potential of your client, right? And this is what appreciative inquiry talks about. Appreciative inquiry doesn't talk about the problem. Appreciative inquiry talks about, okay, this is the destiny, this is the maximum possible future, and how to achieve that maximum possible future. That is the inquiry. So the essence of the coaching is positive psychology, is the point, right? So any questions till this point in time, questions, reflections before we move ahead? You can just raise your hand. Lynette, you are a part of batch 2, right?
Yeah, but Pooja sent me a link, so she said you can join.
No problem. Because this masterclass series is open. But anyway, in your batch also this session will happen, but at a latter part, in part 2. Yes. Any question till this point in time? Very positive people. What question? We are looking for opportunities. Okay, got it. So the positive psychology coaching model. And this has been my favorite because my favorite means it is so aligned with the coaching psychology. So after understanding positive psychology, because earlier I was not aware about the positive psychology, even I was not aware of psychology, forget about positive psychology. But when I came to know about it, then I understood, oh, this is coaching. So the heart of the coaching, the essence of the coaching is in positive psychology, right? So let us see the positive psychology coaching model.
So what is the positive psychology coaching model? We have already seen the coaching triangle: connection, outcome, discovery, action, and progress. 5 steps. In positive psychology coaching model and methodology, first, a coach establishes a positive connection with the coachee. To establish positive connection, first a coach needs to know client's strengths and values and the behavioral pattern. Coach starts the coaching with a positive note. What is happening good in the client's life? Why? Because there is a neuroscience angle. When you think about something positive, right chemicals flow from your brain: dopamine, serotonin, and these chemicals give you the energy to act, right? So there is a science behind this, starting with a positive note. And then you talk about the positive outcome. What is the positive outcome you are looking for during the session, and how that outcome is related to the vision, the dream, your strengths and values. And then you indulge into appreciative inquiry. During the appreciative inquiry, you evoke awareness with the root cause analysis. You go to the root. You were successful. Why you were successful? What exactly you did at that time? And can you replicate that now? Or can you take pointers of the lessons from the actions you took at that time? So resulting into you succeeding at that time. And in this particular scenario, what lessons you can take from there? And then there are a variety of the positive psychology interventions. Positivity ratio, right? So if you are having any negative thought, just as a discipline practice, I'm giving you just one quick tip. If you are having any negative thought, immediately think about 3 positive things in your life. You are a one-piece person is itself a positive thing. You are mentally sane itself is a positive thing. You are eating 2 times, 3 times in a day itself is a positive thing, right? So there are so many positive things in your life. As soon as any negative thought comes, think 3 positive things. So it's a ratio, 1:3. If you do this particular ratio, you can never get depressed and you can maximize your potential with this positivity ratio. 1 negative thought means you have to think about 3 positive thoughts as a discipline, as a practice. Forgiveness, gratitude. Again, big topics. I will not cover them today, but these are the interventions of positive psychology coaching. The coachee has to forgive self in some cases and forgive others in some cases to remove that baggage from the mind and clear that particular baggage for positive things. Gratitude in the morning and night, each day, early morning, wake up, gratitude journal. At the night, gratitude journal. Fantastic. This simple gratitude journal can transform your life, your attitude. You will be having a positive energy. Everyone which is meeting you will feel that positivity from you if you work on this tool called as gratitude journal on a daily basis. And a positive psychology coach, when you have this particular action, because these are all interventions or actions, right? Now the coachee is in an action phase. And now you future pace. Let client visualize the successful state, positive state. Visualize that, right? So the client sees the positive future in the coaching process. And positive psychology coaching always goes for celebrating the progress. Small things will be celebrated between the coach and coachee.
So, any questions on the positive psychology coaching process? So, we have a time. So, we relax and ask whatever questions you are having. Applying positive psychology in your coaching. In fact, the coaching process itself is influenced by positive psychology. There is no doubt. So, you cannot separate positive psychology from the coaching process. But if you have any application-oriented questions, reflections, please share.
Hemant sir, my question was also same. Normally any coaching process itself is inclusive of these questions. Setting up the agreement. Then you have you start with strengths, appreciating those strengths, and then asking in a structured manner. So why again something like called as positive psychology coming in between?
Yeah, very good. So, as a MML student, for you, it is obvious that you have to talk about the strengths, focus on strengths and all that, because our program is designed that way, because you have all undergone the Who Am I model and all that, right? But it is not what happens in the market, right? So the majority of the coaching happens, which is problem-oriented. People do not utilize appreciative inquiry or the strengths-based approach in the coaching necessarily. Our culture is such that means it comes natural to us that is okay, we talk about the strengths and then we build on that particular strengths and everything. So this is a re-emphasize on our learning. See how it happens. That is in the part 1 of the program. You have learned the foundation of the coaching process, core competencies, self-discovery, who am I? So this is the foundation. Now we are at an advanced level. At an advanced level, now we are refining our tools. So the positive psychology coaching is a tool. It's a process. It's an ideology, right? So now we are developing that particular mindset that the real coaching is positive psychology coaching, right? So that we want to re-emphasize. maybe in our part one, we have not covered appreciative inquiry. We were not that much aware on the appreciative inquiry. Now we are aware of the 5D process of appreciative inquiry. That is when there is any goal what coach is bringing. Do not go for that particular, say, stated goal. What is the best possible goal for the coachee? What is the destiny level? That is what you inquire, and then you take coachee to the level wherein coachee can maximize his or her potential. That is the ideology of the positive psychology. So for you, not 100% is new. I'm fully aware. But even that 20% extra, what you will get from now, this kind of tools, techniques, and the processes is what I'm looking for, so that you will refine your mindset and you will focus on certain elements during your coaching process. Still, there are many coaches who focus on problem and solution. There are many coaches who do not focus who of the client. But for us, it is natural. Of course, means you also require practice. I'm not saying you are fluent with the who part, because I have gone through your OCS assessment reports.
Yes.
Getting that feedback, right?
Yeah.
That is to work more on the who, right? So that is the refinement we are talking about, right? So with these kind of sessions will make you more refined.
One last question, sir. See, the 3 steps of what the positive psychology, the pleasant life, the good life, and the meaningful life. You know, much more refined is our Panchakosha. Much more refined is, it goes into more detail in the Panchakosha, where you go up to the joy level, joy without any reason. So I feel, probably this is only a subset of that.
You are 100%. You are 100. C means someone will, or few people will call it as my bias, or it also may be right? Because it is the perception. Their perception is their reality. My perception is my reality. So in my opinion, there is nothing greater than the knowledge of Vedas. There is nothing greater. Means in my limited life and my limited understanding, whatever I have read, I have not read anything which is more knowledgeable than Veda and Upanishad. So whatever are the concepts in the Vedas, they have been accepted by the Western scholars for many centuries, and they have repackaged it. Emotional intelligence, part of Veda. Positive psychology, part of Veda. Hard problem of the consciousness, quantum physics, part of Veda. Right. So everything is there. As you are rightly saying, Panchakosha is a much more evolved level, at a spiritual level, at a who am I level, right? It is a much more evolved level. Positive psychology, this 3 kind of life is a very basic thing. But the beauty is, Panchakosha is difficult to understand. These 3 levels are easy to understand, so people embrace it. Worldwide, if I say there are 3 types of life, pleasant life, good life, and meaningful life, it is so easy to understand and embrace, right? But if I say, no, there is a Panchakosha and all that, and then there is a bliss level, it is very difficult to comprehend. Yes, so everything is a subset of Vedic wisdom. This is the fact. All great inventions have come from Veda, but they have been projected, they have been packaged differently. That is a fact. And again, Veda, I am not thinking from the perspective of the Indian. I am not labeling Veda that is they are Hindu or Indian. No. Veda is a creation of the divine mankind. Right. So means I'm not biased. That is okay. Means only the Eastern people are wise and the Western people are unwise or something. No. It was created by the divine humans, and we have that particular divinity within us is our statement. Any more questions, reflections till this point in time? Yes, Bala.
One question.
Your voice is a little bit low. Just see that setting.
Is that okay now?
No. Still it is low. Otherwise, then you have to talk a bit loudly.
Okay. I think I will disconnect my headphones. Give me a minute. I'll set this right and come back to you.
No. Now it is good. Now it is good, Bala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question was, say, suppose, I mean, we have most of these coaches either in the happy level or the pleasant life, right? Those kinds. So is it necessary for as a coach to move them to the meaningful life part of it, or most of them would like to stick to what they are, correct? So how do we go about that? So,
Excellent question. See, we will go to the foundations of the fundamentals of the coaching.
Hemant sir, sorry to interrupt. I will just add one additional question to the same thing so that you can answer. Should the coach himself be at that level to make this? That's a bigger question. Okay.
This is not only called as icing on cake, but this is a big icing anchor on the cake. Okay, so got it. See, you need to be happy to spread happiness. You need to find your own meaning before you helping others to find meaning. That is the reason the program is transformative. But of course, just because I have designed transformative program, that does not mean that you are going to transform, right? So I can bring the horse to the water, but ultimately horse has to drink the water. So the transformation is in your hand. I am not responsible for your transformation, right? I am absolved from the transformation responsibility, right? You are responsible, right? Okay. So let us go back to the fundamentals of coaching. C2. Who sets the agenda in the coaching? Bala, who sets the agenda?
I mean, we asked the coach to set the agenda for me.
It is the coaching. It is the coaching who will tell coach, boss, I want to discuss this today. Then the coach will follow the 4 PCC markers. Okay, reconfirm the session agreement, then the success criteria, then how meaningful and important it is, and what needs to be done to achieve what you want to achieve, opportunities and obstacles. So these are the 4 PCC markers in the outcome phase. So everything is driven by coaching. You can't say, boss, your level is very low, pleasant level fellow. You have to go to the meaningful level. You can't say that. Right? But during the process, during the evoking awareness, you will try to enhance his awareness from the pleasant life to good life, from the good life to the meaningful life, and let coachee come up with the goal. It is not your agenda to make coach's life meaningful. If the coachee says in the next session, oh my God, Bala, means based on our last session, I was thinking about buying this Mercedes Benz, but right now I think that I am changing my goal and I want to do something. All right, okay, let us discuss on that. Okay, so I have already answered the question of the Prasad. That is, you can't give anything which you don't have. So first you have to make your own life meaningful. And in my honest opinion, the coach's life is meaningful, because now after becoming coach, you not only enhance your own personal and professional life, but you start thinking beyond you and you start contributing to the society. That is the meaningful life. Meaningful life is you going beyond you. That is what coaches do. So you already have a meaningful life. So there is no worry for this team. Any other question?
Hi, Hemant, morning. So I'm actually very new to this. This is my second masterclass, get to start my classes. So it's all a little theoretical for me right now. Just wanted to confirm or validate my understanding that when we are saying this process of appreciative inquiry and the 4 steps that you decided, right? So that's embedded throughout the coaching sessions whenever I'm talking or whenever we are taking the sessions, right? It's not necessarily a starting point. Is that fair to say? That this will be embedded throughout all of the sessions that we're doing?
So the coaching process has 5 stages. So in Master My Life, we called it as a CODAP, C-O-D-A-P. So to first, you establish connection with the client. Then you finalize outcome for the session. What I was discussing, 4 markers. Then you go to discover phase, evoking awareness. Appreciative inquiry is a part of discover phase. There are a variety of the tools and techniques to evoke awareness in the coaching. Root cause analysis, why analysis, neurological level based questioning, and appreciative inquiry. So depending upon the situation, depending upon the goal, problem, coaching, you will utilize one or another tool. One of the very important tools is appreciative inquiry to evoke awareness in the coaching. Once you evoke awareness, now there is a clarity on the table, there is awareness on the table, then you talk about the action, because the coaching is necessarily action-oriented intervention. It is not an intellectual discussion. There is action, and any action means there has to be monitoring, right? Progress monitoring. So this is code app: connection, outcome, discover, action, and progress. So appreciative inquiry is a part of the central stage of the coaching process called as discover, that is evoking awareness.
Understood. Super clear. Thank you.
So with this, we will go ahead into application of learning. And since this is a small batch right now, so we will go for main room. Of course, means I will switch off my audio and video, because I genuinely believe that it is not only me who has a knowledge. In fact, I know very less. Only thing what I know very less, right? I know it in depth, less knowledge. But within that less knowledge, in-depth knowledge, and I try to simplify it for my learners, right? So this is my strength. But my strength is not high level of knowledge. In fact, for the last few years, I'm hardly reading, because I'm finding I'm not implementing whatever I already know. So where is the question of I learning more and more? So this is the state of mind I'm having. So in my every session, I want learners to think about the application of the learning. You may be clear, but I want to restate it, re-emphasize on it, so that it goes to your subconscious mind and it becomes your unconscious competency, not conscious competency, unconscious competency, like driving a car. You have to apply these tools and techniques like a unconscious competency, right? So application of learning. So how we will do it? We will discuss for 20 minutes to 25 minutes. So I will be the silent observer. So depending upon the discussion, I will decide whether it has to be 20 minutes or extra minutes. And what all you will discuss in the main room itself, that is, what is the application of appreciative inquiry and positive psychology in your personal life, professional life, and in coaching. The program is not only to develop you as a coach. The program is designed to develop you as a wise human being, where the coaching business is icing on cake. The real cake is your wisdom, wherein you can flourish in your personal and professional life by utilizing variety of the learnings within the program. Positive psychology is like that, one of the important intervention within positive psychology. Appreciative inquiry is one of the important process. So there will be only main room discussion. But after the main room discussion, I want one of you to again represent this main room, and in 2 minutes, again, brief me the pointers. That is okay. For the last 20-25 minutes, we were discussing this, and these are the application-oriented pointers. What group has come up with is the idea, right? So only one reflection. So please start the discussion, and do not only discuss on the coaching, because you are yet to become coach. You are work in progress. First, you work on yourself. So you can discuss on coaching, absolutely, but also discuss on application in your professional life, application in your personal life. Your time starts now. It is 5:50. So till 6:10, till 6:15, you can continue discussing and add value with your knowledge and understanding to the group.
Morning, everyone. So I'll probably start. So before I even begin, so I'm actually an HR professional. I've been in HR for about 8-9 years. And in my current organization, I work in a startup called Rupeek. So it's a little funny because we may be using different terms, but philosophically, I think we almost do the similar thing that Hemant sir was just talking about in terms of focusing more on strengths rather than development areas. So how it's discussed in my org and what we've started implementing in our feedback, in the performance process is that after a certain age, you want to do a Pareto, right? You want to do 80-20 about what you're good at, rather than focusing on what is the 20 which you're not good at. So I think in our professional life, we're already using this process in the way we give feedback to people, that instead of focusing on what are the 2 things that you need to do better at, focus on the 80, which is your strengths. And these are the 2-3 things that you're really good at. And let's start indexing more on that. So I just wanted to start off the discussion saying that I think in one shape or form, we're kind of using this already in my organization right now.
That's
Thanks,
nice.
Deepika. Yeah, very good to know that. Yes, I think this positive psychology and the focus on strengths is catching up a lot. So even in our organization, we talk a lot about strengths. And as a kind of profiling, we do this Clifton's Strengths Finder. And we look at the various themes. And then we try to say, these are your strengths. And even in our annual appraisals and discussions and a lot of stuff, as you have rightly mentioned, the main thrust is on strengths. So that's about the org. Last night I was watching the videos and reading the material. I was thinking as an individual, as a person to start with, I think this is really going to help me. I know a lot about positive psychology in terms of people talking about it, the WhatsApp messages which go around a lot, all that. I was thinking I'm somebody who is, maybe my personality or some of the life experiences, I'm slightly on the critical side. So I was thinking this is really going to help me, the practice, more and more practice of looking at my strengths, looking at other strengths. I think the shift of focus is definitely going to help me in my outlook. So this is what I wanted to say. Being very hard on yourself, being very self-critical, those are also, I think those things, this has really helped me a bit.
In fact, Leela, just to add to what you're saying, I'm sorry, Lynette, I'll just finish what I wanted to ask, because she was already talking about the subject. You said, probably being critical is one of your strengths, right? I assume that that's your strength. So you can leverage that strength across and use it positively, right? I think that's what you're looking at, if I can understand what you're saying. So,
I think that's
focus.
Bala, that's a twist in the tail. Yeah, I think as you mentioned, maybe I could actually use it as a strength. Maybe that is,
Yeah, I mean, because I know we spoke about leveraging our strengths more than, looking at our weaknesses and then working towards the other side. I think now to change after a stage is like not so easy. So at least leverage your strengths and use it this way is what I thought probably you should.
Oh, thank you.
Bala is saying being negative is your strength. That's what he's saying.
If you're critical, Prasad, if you're critical, you don't need to be negative, okay? You can actually use it in the right way. That's exactly what I was trying to come to. So
yeah, I think that's where, when somebody is trying to be pragmatic or practical, it is sometimes taken as being negative. I think that also comes into the play. It adds some kind of pressure for you to tone down your analysis or whatever.
Correct.
Of it. Yeah.
Basically,
Sorry,
people
Lynette,
think, that's okay. I'm just saying that I agree with Bala, because I think that ensures that people around you do the work in the best possible manner, because they don't want to be under a survey where, you are actually monitoring things and being critical to them, but actually that ensures that everybody does their work correctly and accurately. Is that what you're trying to say? So that could be your strength, is what even I believe. But since everything is new to me, and this AI thing is new to me, I was still thinking that is what, I mean, are we supposed to discuss the application as to how we're going to go ahead and do our strengths? I mean, how does this work, the entire thing? Because this is just my second class and I'm a little lost with everything. So how
do you use these appreciative inquiry and positive psychology in your personal and professional life first to start with? Coaching will automatically come through after that. So
I think it's really, really important, very, very important, because I personally believe a lot of, in my personal life also, I ensure that there is gratitude every day. And I appreciate the people around me. And I'm really thankful and grateful for everything that is there. And that I think that plays a very important role. And it also helps me be positive. And I think the reason why I've chosen to be a coach also is because somewhere down the line, you also need a structure. You can't just help people without a structure. So I think that's the reason why I've joined this. And this is something I think it's, I will say, it's a part of me to be positive. So it's like a second nature. So I think now all I need is a structure. So that's what I'm here for. And since I'm a little lost with how this entire process works, and this is just the second masterclass, I've not yet enrolled. So I think I'm just taking it a little slow now. Just trying to understand and, you know, how everybody is quite experienced over here. And I'm really glad to be a part of the team.
Yeah, good morning. Can I share something? My name is Bhaumik, and this is the first time I am on the masterclass. So not very different from you, Lynette, but there's something that struck a chord with me. Till last Friday, I did not know anything about coaching. So I started getting into a conversation with MML, Rishabh Gill, in the first place. And what I found striking about speaking with Rishabh is that he was positive about everything that I spoke about. And that was so striking, and that's what I brought up at the end of the call. Rishabh, I said, you are so positive about everything, and he said, Bhaumik, we are as you go along in the course, you learn about positive psychology, and that piqued my curiosity. And I started looking at a lot of things in my life which I'd done so far, which were achievements which I'd forgotten, and all that I was really engaging in is self-criticism. You know, this is not right, that is not right, you're not doing this right. So in the last 1 week, there has been transformation out of just speaking to Rishabh on the phone. So, and you know, what Hemant sir just spoke about, having 3 things that you could say positively to yourself in face of one negative thought. And what I've discovered in the last 1 week is that I am already living, I'm in bits and pieces, I'm already living a meaningful life, because I'm thinking of other people, including more into my life, something larger, bigger than myself. That is one. Second is, if I am following up on my purpose, I feel that there is some sort of an awakening already in place. And the third is that since I have embarked on this journey, I think I'm on the path of my purpose. So 3 things I could straight away see are so positive that I think I can deal with all the negative that comes up in my day, just thinking about these 3 things. So the application of appreciative inquiry, I think from a person like me, I could probably become a person like Rishabh Gill or Hemant Lavangani, you know. So that's the transformation possible. Yeah, that's it from my side.
That's really nice. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Please.
Okay. My name is Prasad. For the people who are new to this today, when I heard about the whole story of positive psychology, I have been practicing this for quite some time, not knowing that it is a positive psychology. I saw a video in the recent past that I would like to share. That video is, you know, you have a glass full of water, little mud inside that. Now, how do you remove the mud? You keep taking one part, it is still, water is still muddy. How do you make the water pure again? Pour a lot of water again. Pour a lot of water, 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 till the water becomes pure again. So you keep focusing on weakness, which is mud. You try to keep it. The more you try it, it will still remain the same. Or at least, as in Vedanta, they say, just do nothing, at least till let the mud float down. Or the other way is, in a positive side or in an active way, you put more water so that, the strength becomes so much that your weaknesses are very, very tiny and, they are negligible when you look at the whole. So this was an example which really struck me, when I was going through the video Hemant sir sent yesterday. That is the first thing. So Hemant sir was telling 3:1, right? I have been actually I have coined a rule number 51, and this I have been using in all my trainings for the last 3 to 4 years. This is Prasad's rule number 51. What it is criticism. Criticism, we generally, the first thing that comes to a human mind is find fault. Find fault. So it is natural. It is not abnormal. It is natural. So what I have been at least trying to practice before I preach is, before I criticize again, I appreciate 5 times. Before I criticize again, I appreciate 5 times. What do I appreciate? I don't know. It can be anything. It can be, as simple as appreciating the beauty of the outside, or appreciating somebody who is doing something good, anything to anything. But before even the thought of criticism comes to my mind, I start appreciating. And to tell you, this really changes the way we live, the perceptions we live in, the whole way, we keep our surroundings around us. It will really change. And see, I will give you another example. When you open a fridge, what will happen? You feel coldness. When you go to a boiler, how will you feel? You feel hot. When somebody comes to you, they should feel positivity. How do you do it? Follow positive psychology. So this is what is, a simple practical approach, and which I've been following. So, it comes very naturally to me for, to put that back into the coaching. Still, as per my OCS, my who part was missing. I'll still work on that.
Prasad, thank you for sharing. I'll definitely use your mud and glass example today itself for my daughter. That is really amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, I'll go next. I think, Prasad, you gave a beautiful segue to many of us to come out and share our experience. And I kind of resonated with what you just called out, because for me, I'm just calling it out in a very practical world. It's very natural for us to just feel negative, when something doesn't happen in the matter, the way that you anticipated it to be or you wanted it to be. Obviously, you'll feel, oh my God, why didn't I do it well? What I thought and what happened. So I still feel that what has given me strength is when I have had my goal, and if I don't feel very comfortable with the way I have dreamt of it and it didn't happen in that manner, I feel bad. Okay. Immediate reaction is, oh, I didn't do it. It comes in fraction of second. But what I like, something which comes again very naturally, is I'm a very reflective person. So maybe at that moment, I feel bad about it. But when I reflect, when I sit and think about it and start reflecting on the situation and how that entire episode went by, I see a lot of positivity, because I find how I dealt, what is that, I kind of showed in that scenario or in that situation, makes me feel very proud. I feel that, oh, I did it really well, so maybe My goal was really at a very higher end. That was not probably what was required, so I feel that has actually kept me going. So what I'm trying to say here is all of us have a different style of living through this positive psychology. But this course, that I'm maybe for people who are new to this area and who have not seen this coaching session with MML, truly want to call that out, that the 6 months journey that we're going to have. So we are almost in the fourth month now, 2 more months to go. It really gives you a lot of structure to sit back and reflect. So for me, I'm looking at it in that manner, that even today's AI, the 5 Ds that's been called out, we might be doing it unnaturally. Okay, it might be coming in some form or fashion. That's why probably we are all able to relate to it. But the structure that is coming out of these principles will make you feel a little more confident, saying that, okay, this is where I am heading. Now I'm in this particular stage. So probably, there's something else to come. I will cross this path. So this too shall pass will be something, that these structures will help you think. So yeah, that is how I would like to put this.
Thank you, Vinita, for sharing.
Thank you, Lynette.
Yeah, probably I'll share my quick inputs. I think it's really wonderful, and I will say the first we came across this kind of thought process was in NLP, and the 5 presuppositions. I think that was quite eye-opening, and on top of that, today's session, it was really good, and I could connect to Leela. I am also very, very kind of critic. People call me whenever they want to find something which is not good in this situation. That's also a strength, but yeah, sometimes you get that kind of a tag in case you want to find something which is not good in here. And so when you are a coach, it is very important to bring in that energy and shift in somebody to look forward. And hence, I think this is going to be a really good tool. So yeah, I look forward to kind of adopt it myself first, and then help the coachee do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. As everybody was talking, I was also reflecting. One thing I felt is somebody who is an extrovert is able to express their positive feelings in a very articulate manner. Whereas somebody who is not very, who is into themselves and kind of introverted, though I'm very positive inside, but I'm not somebody who can proclaim or who can keep saying, oh, I feel great today, or, I'm very positive, because the thoughts are inside, but I'm very contained. So that way, I think for some people, it is not natural to express their positivity. It is there inside, and maybe we need to learn to demonstrate those behaviors of being positive, let the others know that is. And thanks, Bala, for actually pointing it out. It is maybe a strength at times, because the kind of work that a person does, if it is a quality check that you're doing, or if it is any kind of work that really needs some kind of deep thinking, and something has to come out of it, a major breakthrough has to come out of a doc, it could be a proposal, it could be project. I think having this critical eye is very important, because it helps the team to understand, oh, it's not everything is what it is, there could be something hunky-dory about it. Yes, I think today my takeaway is not beat my chest about not being positive all the time, but maybe consider this as a strength. Yeah. Thank you.
Leela, critical thinking is a biggest strength these days, you know. So I think you should keep at it.
Yeah.
And,
I
and I
It
think
really helps an organization to move ahead.
No,
I'm sure it helps.
my previous
sorry.
boss also was like that. He was very, very critical about everything, and we used to ensure that every document, everything that we placed before him, it had to be just perfect. So I think that is actually a strength. But it comes a long way. Maybe initially in the short term, you don't feel it as your strength, but people who are under you will ensure that, it's just so perfect.
there's a positive way to it, when you stand for your team, it is very important that you do the best so that, you can stand for them and they are appreciated in a big way or in a bigger scheme of things. So hence we feel that, it is kind of owning that responsibility. Now, how do you kind of polish it and say it in a positive way? I think this is something which kind of I will try to pick up so that they also feel positive about it. They replace the word critical with kind of a better way or kind of a due diligence or something like that.
Yes.
I think we missed Deepak. Deepak, share your perspectives.
Yes.
I was going on and off because of my video issues. I think the concept of positive psychology for me is about being, I know, to contrary to what Leela is and what she said, it is about being happy with what we have and project that within ourselves and to the group that surrounds us. I prescribe to the concept of Ubuntu, the tribal culture in South Africa, where they say that I am because of what we are. So whatever group or team or organization that we surround ourselves, so we become that way. Now, to the inverse of that, in case if I have to surround myself with people who help me to grow, then one thing to do that is to ensure that we focus on the positive things, either from us or from the group or from the team or from the organization. Concentrate on the positive things, and then we will be able to grow together. Because that concentrating on positive things, let's say that if I am concentrating on something positive of the team, that particular culture, that particular habit starts permeated across the group. And once the team or the group starts working in those lines, is when you can see that it has got an exponential effect of moving forward. And the other major principle that I follow in my entire life is Hakuna Matata. Even before the words came into picture, still that was the philosophy that I followed. So let's not worry too much. Let's just focus on the right things that are happening, and it will definitely take you forward. That's what I have.
Yeah, excellent. So there is no need now to consolidate the discussion or summarize, because we were in the main room, and I think every one of you have added value, great value to the discussion.